There was a time when their names were everywhere in the wrestling world. Some of them were supposed to be future stars. Some even won championship belts. Some genuinely had the potential to become huge superstars. But today, many of them have faded into the forgotten corners of wrestling history. Some got released, some walked away themselves, some got injured, and some simply vanished without anyone quite understanding what happened. So what actually happened to them? In this video, we're looking at some of wrestling history's most forgotten performers and what became of them after they left WWE. So keep watching so you don't miss it. Ryback. We start the list with a wrestler who was supposed to be the next Goldberg. Ryback debuted on the main roster in 2012 with that gimmick, and the company invested heavily in him right from the start. Fans loved it too. This massive powerhouse plowed through opponents one after another, building an unbeatable streak. By October 2012, Ryback had climbed high enough to challenge CM Punk for the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell. But instead of becoming his defining moment, that match marked the beginning of the end for him. He lost and never regained that momentum. Punk later spoke about it on his Colt Cabana podcast, saying Ryback was dangerous in the ring and careless and unsafe with how he worked. WWE kept trying to make him a star anyway, pairing him with Paul Heyman, giving him the Intercontinental Championship, and even putting him on the winning Survivor Series team in 2014. But that earlier momentum was gone for good. Meanwhile, the real story was brewing behind the scenes. Ryback began publicly criticizing WWE's pay structure, which didn't sit well with management. Due to contract disputes, he left the company for good, officially departing in August 2016. Things only got worse from there. After leaving, he vented all his frustration online, criticizing the company harshly for years, attacking Vince McMahon, questioning Triple H's booking decisions, and going after nearly everything about WWE. The final straw came when he made inappropriate comments after the death of Vince McMahon's mother. Ryback wrestled a handful of indie matches between 2016 and 2018, but hasn't stepped into a ring since. These days, he's legally changed his name to Ryback Reeves and has largely stepped away from wrestling, focusing instead on his supplement business and running a YouTube channel. ACH Jordan Myles. While Ryback at least got a taste of the main event spotlight, the next wrestler's fate was sealed before he ever got the chance. ACH signed with WWE in February 2019 with real momentum behind him. This veteran indie star had made a name for himself on the independent scene and was widely respected across the wrestling world. Vince and Triple H saw his potential and quickly gave him a push, and he won the NXT Breakout Tournament in August 2019. He even got a title shot against Adam Cole, and it looked like everything was going according to plan until the t-shirt controversy hit. For anyone unfamiliar, in late September 2019, WWE released a line of merchandise for him under his ring name Jordan Myles, featuring a design that many people felt was racially insensitive. Almost immediately, people pointed out the design could be seen as offensive, and Myles reacted strongly on Twitter, saying the design was insulting to black wrestlers, fans, and supporters alike. WWE responded that Myles himself had approved the design and quickly changed the shirt, but that only made things worse. Myles accused the company of discrimination and didn't stop there. He even went after Ring of Honor, sparking strong reactions from several wrestling legends. On November 13th, he released a profanity-filled video announcing that he was quitting WWE, ending his run at the top level of wrestling. After the split, ACH struggled badly to find his footing. In later interviews, he expressed deep regret over how he'd handled the situation and even apologized to WWE, admitting he'd lost control and let his emotions get the better of his judgment. Velveteen Dream. But Myles wasn't the only NXT talent to lose a big push. Velveteen Dream was supposed to become a megastar. Patrick Clark built himself into a Prince-inspired character, something wrestling hadn't really seen in years. He became NXT North American Champion and had incredible feuds with Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole. At just 25 years old, many saw him as a future champion on the main roster. Flashy entrances, mind games, theatrical promos. Fans loved all of it. Then in April 2020, everything collapsed. Allegations surfaced online that Clark had sent inappropriate messages and explicit photos to people on Instagram. More allegations followed in June 2020, all of which Dream denied. WWE kept him on for several months after the allegations came out, but ended his contract in 2021. After leaving the company, his life spiraled into chaos. In 2022, he was arrested multiple times in Florida on charges including battery and trespassing, and spent time in jail, which he later described as an extremely difficult period. He eventually returned to wrestling under the name Velveteen Man, and later under his own name, appearing on small indie shows, a far cry from where he was once headed. Although he was never charged or convicted of any of the allegations against him, the court of public opinion effectively ended his career. Austin Aries. When it comes to wrestlers who derailed their own careers, we can't skip someone who seemed built for greatness, but squandered his own potential. At his peak in TNA, Austin Aries was one of the best wrestlers in the world, winning both the X Division and Heavyweight Championships. When WWE signed him in 2016, it looked like things could go great. He even wrestled at WrestleMania 33 in his first year on the main roster. But reports about backstage friction started following him. People said he was difficult to work with, hard to get along with, and that his attitude often rubbed people the wrong way. WWE released him in 2017 after a little over a year. He returned to TNA/Impact in 2018 and became world champion again within a few months. Everything seemed to be going well until Bound for Glory 2018. That night, Aries lost the World Championship to Johnny Impact, John Morrison, in the main event. After the match, once the referee counted the pin, Aries got up and completely no-sold Johnny Impact's finisher, showing no reaction to the move at all, then stormed out of the ring in anger. Fans watching live had no idea whether this was scripted or a genuine breach of the plan. His contract ended right after that pay-per-view, and he never came back. Later, in 2020, several women accused Aries of inappropriate behavior. He denied the allegations, but combined with his reputation as difficult to work with and the Bound for Glory incident, the controversy made it much harder for Aries to return to the level of wrestling's biggest promotions. Aries has since wrestled for indie companies and spent time in Major League Wrestling, but never returned to the level he reached at his peak. Alberto Del Rio. When Alberto Del Rio joined WWE, the company invested heavily in him, pushing him as their next big Mexican star. He won the Royal Rumble in 2011, won Money in the Bank, and captured the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships multiple times. For a while, it looked like Del Rio might become, after Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, the company's next great Latino star. But backstage problems never stopped following him. In August 2014, he slapped a staff member backstage, and the company immediately fired him for unprofessional conduct. Surprisingly, though, WWE brought Del Rio back in 2015. He returned in a shocking appearance at Hell in a Cell and won the United States Championship by defeating John Cena. But his second run turned into a disaster from the start. Alberto skipped some events, failed the company's wellness test, and his attitude made it clear he had grown to resent working for WWE. By September 2016, both sides mutually agreed to part ways. But things only got worse for Del Rio after he left. He entered a relationship with Paige in 2016 that became toxic almost from the start. Their relationship publicly unraveled and badly damaged both their reputations. Things got much worse in May 2020, when Del Rio was arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and 4 counts of sexual assault. He maintained his innocence throughout, and in 2021 the charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence. Since then, Del Rio has mostly wrestled in Mexico, though controversy has continued to follow him. In early 2025, he got into a physical altercation with fans at a show in Tijuana and was suspended for 6 months as a result. When WWE bought AAA in 2025, many fans thought Alberto might return, but there's been no sign of that happening. His resume could have become legendary, but what remains of his legacy is tied more to backstage conflicts, arrests, and repeated releases from different companies. Matt Riddle. In 2022, Matt Riddle had it all and could have kept building on it. He and Randy Orton had formed RK Bro, won the tag team titles twice, and become one of the company's most popular teams. Riddle was feuding with the Bloodline, and his laid-back, easygoing character connected strongly with fans. But his personal issues kept getting in the way of his progress. The trouble started in summer 2020 with the Speaking Out movement, when indie wrestler Candy Cartwright accused Riddle of misconduct. He admitted to having been involved with her, but denied all the specific allegations against him. Riddle was never charged or convicted of any crime, but the controversy followed him for the rest of his WWE run. Then came the failed drug tests. In 2022, he failed the company's wellness test, the first violation. He failed another drug test after that, and WWE sent him to rehab. On September 22, 2023, he announced on Twitter that he'd been released from WWE, thanking fans for the memories they'd built together. Since leaving, Riddle has wrestled for indie promotions, MLW and NJPW, but a large share of the news about him has continued to center on controversy rather than in-ring work. He appeared on a British indie wrestling show and made a controversial comment claiming CM Punk's wife, AJ Lee, had been involved with various wrestlers in the past, sparking speculation that WWE might bring Riddle back for a feud with Punk. But given his history and ongoing controversies, the company seems unwilling to take that risk. And that's the story of wrestlers who once filled our screens on WWE, but have largely faded from memory today. What strikes me is that several of them genuinely had the potential to become huge stars, but for one reason or another, it never happened. Now I want to know, which wrestler on this list surprised you the most? And more importantly, is there another forgotten wrestler you think deserved a spot on this list? Drop the name in the comments. If enough interesting names come up, we might make a part 2. And if you think there are still plenty of wild wrestling stories out there that nobody's covered, subscribe to the channel, because next time, we're covering one of the greatest title reigns in company history. Until then, take care of yourselves.